never slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
This story has nothing to do really with me, but something somebody else told me. And they gave me permission to tell this story. I've been getting emails from this guy. I first heard from him on Core, a platform called Core. And then he started emailing me. And he's like in his 40s. But this happened when he was a young man, went to prison. He got in debt, ended up having to be with this guy. This guy, well, she said, kind of weird, but he said it wasn't too bad first. It'd be bad to me, I know that much. But I was just listening and trying to answer his questions and things he said, responding to what he said. But he said after a while, his man, I guess you'd say, started having his friends come in the cell. And he said it got real bad. And he said he's still traumatized by that. Not just that, but the whole prison experience itself. And he asked me if I ever got over, does prison still affect me today? And I told him, well, it does, but not like it used to. I've been out like 8 years. This guy had been out like 20 years, still being affected by it. But probably most of it has to do with what happened to him in there. But he was telling me all these things that happened to him, and the bad thing is, he didn't have a whole lot of time. So that meant he was in a low-level security prison. At least in Missouri, that's how they would do it. It's just hard for me to imagine that happening to him in a low-level prison. But I guess prison is prison. But what he's worried about, he said that this is really bothering him, is his nephew may be going to prison. And he was in a different state than the prison he did time in. But he's still worried. What he was telling me, he goes, I know that a lot of times you tell these stories, message for young people. He goes, I'm going to tell you right now, young people are not listening. He goes, I talked to my nephew and my son. He goes, my son might have listened some, but he said, my nephew did not listen, and now he's in trouble. He said, he goes, I applaud what you're doing, trying to keep people out of prison and stuff, and you helping people who's had family and who have family in prison, helping them understand. But he says, as far as the young people, I don't think they're listening. He goes, my nephew didn't listen to me, and he's going to prison, and I'm really worried. Same thing that happened to me is going to happen to him. Well, my first response, I didn't say this to him. He should have thought of that before he did what he did that might get him sent to prison. And I guess he kind of knew what I was thinking, because he said, before you say it, I know, he shouldn't have committed the crime. He goes, none of us should have. But he said, that does not stop me from worrying. That's true. You're going to worry about your loved one in prison, I still worry about friends that are in prison, that I knew while I was in prison. So I said, the best thing you could do is just tell him from your experience what to do and not to do in prison. If he goes to prison, that's the best thing you can do. Just give him advice from what you've learned in prison. He goes, I know, but like I told you, he does not listen. He goes, in fact, he's taking this whole thing about going to prison almost as a joke. He's not serious about it at all. He does not understand that he may be going to prison. I said, he's got to understand there's a chance. He goes, he doesn't seem to be worried about it. So that's the thing, young people. You guys think it's all, you're going to get off, parents are going to get you out of prison, or you're not going to go to prison. Reality doesn't set in until you get sent there. And when you walk out on that yard, your mama, daddy, and your lawyers are not going to be with you. It's just going to be you. I don't understand, man. Like young people, because I've seen others do this too. Like he was talking about his nephew, taking it almost as a joke. I don't know why they would take it as a joke. Now, people that grew up in violent neighborhoods and had uncles and family members going to prison, friends going to prison, they get to prison. A lot of times they're going to know people there. But the majority of people from these small towns, small areas, when they go to prison, they ain't going to know anybody. You ain't going to know anybody when you get there. And then reality's going to set in. Man, what did I get myself into? Listen to people who's been there before you get there. Better yet, don't do anything to get put there. Now I know there's some people victim of circumstances. I know some people get caught up and they're innocent. I understand all that. But I'm talking to the ones who are going out there and messing up and getting sent to prison. And then when they get sent to prison, then they're worried. I've heard some people say, I wouldn't be scared to go. Yeah, you would. When they finally sentence you to prison and put you on that bus, yeah, you're going to be scared. Everybody, their first time to prison, is nervous, scared, whatever. It's the unknown, because you don't know what you're getting into. It's just like when I was getting out, the same way. I've been in prison 29 years. I go to get out. Yeah, I was happy to be getting out. I was excited about getting out and all that, but I was also nervous and scared because I was going back into the unknown. From 87 to 2016, a lot of changes happened out here. So I'm still emailing this guy. You know, he's still asking me what he should do and what he should tell him. And there ain't much else I can tell him. He could be supportive of his nephew while he's in prison. He should do that, you know, if he loves him. Give him advice from, like I said, from things that he'd learned while he was in prison. Tell him what to do, not to do. Not getting a debt, apparently, because that's what got him in the fix he was in. But it just amazes me that he was in a low-level prison. Well, he didn't have that much time, so he had to be a low-level prison. He didn't say whether it was low-level or not. And this happened to him. Just goes to show that it can happen anywhere. In Missouri, most things like that happen in high-level prisons, maximum security prisons, and it's rare. Even there, it's rare. People kind of look down on that kind of thing. I thank you all for watching, and I hope somebody gets something out of this, and I'll see you next time.